Yo, what's happening? What's poppin', everybody? How you guys doing today? I'm doing pretty nice myself. Let me introduce myself. I'm the best league format player there is around, and I haven't been able to upload my games in league formats because I'm too lazy, but not really because I'm going to be uploading this whole season. Hopefully it doesn't crack, hopefully we don't get smashed too much, but that's impossible because I'm the god of league format. Let me show you why. All right, no, not on a kind of serious note. We have the team analysis. So the GPC is a league that I was a part of in season 1. Season 2, season 3 didn't happen, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to come back to it. Why? Because a lot of guys that I know are in there. I like them, they like me, they hate me, but they like me. You know, it's a love-hate relationship. Next, we got a couple guys that I haven't been able to face yet, and they're actually in the NPL, which is very, very exciting. You know, NPL minor guys, which is going to be cool to face. TC's in here, which I've seen him in a lot of leagues that my friends have been a part of. I could have joined, but I said, not. But now I'm part of it. So yeah, enough talking. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the team analysis. Immediately, something to keep in mind is if you're going to have a lot of success in drafting, you need to establish some sort of core prior to the actual draft itself. So I'm also going to share a couple tips to avoid not getting sniped. How you're going to do that? Well, you need to have backup plans. So if you want 11 mons and they're the best mons in every single tier, you're going to get fucked. And I made sure that I couldn't get possibly sniped for the most part. I mean, there was a couple picks that I wanted that if they didn't go my way, I would have been very upset. But I was able to work around specific things. So this is a core that I've actually used a lot in the UU tier. I was able to get to, I think, number 50 on the UU ladder. I mean, I've been higher, but long story short, this core is incredibly good. It's a bulky offensive team. The thing with this core, you got your fairy type, your steel type, your dragon type. We all know how that, we all know how that works. It's very good. The thing that makes this core better than most cores is that one, you can get these mons for cheap, which is, what I mean cheap, lower tiers, later in the draft, not people going to be getting them immediately, but like these mons don't die. Like Agron, like close combats, eating them up. We eat them up though. I mean, Sylveon can eat any special attack in the game. This thing can eat a +6 mana fee Scald. Like this thing is bulky. And then Karam, base 125 HP stat with a base 90 defenses. Bulky. It's got rest. Well, yeah, of course gets rest, but I mean roost. Rooster, I mean, it kind of looks like the rooster chicken itself. I don't know, like this core. Things that I have to immediately address with this core, though, is it's slow. I need to be able to pass the base 100 speed, actually base 110 speed, because I'm not facing Meta Girls, thankfully, but there's many mons that are lurking around the base 109s, base 108, the Keldios, the this, that, the Tracheons. I want to be able to outspeed those because, as you see, where's my Tracheon switching? Yeah, good luck. So next, hazard control. The reason why hazard control is so significantly important with this core is because my team's grounded. So what does that mean? Sure, Karam doesn't appreciate rocks, but they don't really care too much about rocks. Another thing that really punishes this team, most and foremost, is spikes. Toxic spikes, and not really that big of a deal, but spikes in general are very annoying because if they're able to get up, spikes plus rocks, they're gonna punish my team significantly. So I need to take care of that specifically early. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure I have hazard control. And then ground spam. So like for example, another thing is like the Nidos. Sure, Karam outspeeds, but like I don't have a Nido switch in either. So yeah, we're gonna address that. So we get Torn Anus. Tornadus is a very good mon in the format, and why it fits this team so well is that 1, it's speed, 2, it's coverage, 3, it's momentum, 4, it's a god. Yeah, so the other cool mechanics with Torn is that, I don't have a knockoff user yet, so it gets knockoff, it gets U-turn, this and that, but I also have the ability to play around not getting sniped. So we're going to be playing the not getting sniped game. So let's say Sylveon, because I didn't pick Sylveon with my very first pick, easily can be picked up before I get a chance to get back at it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get sniped. So I mean, if Sylveon gets picked up with before I pick it, it's not that, yeah, spoilers, I'm able to get Sylveon, but the reason why I decided to get Tornadus first before the Sylveon is because I can still go Regen Core with, Slowbro, this, that, get a fat team, and kind of go from there. So getting Tornadus, it allowed me a lot of options, and in theory, it's impossible to snipe me. But it just means I can't go with my original core that I wanted to get at. But, yep, we get Sylveon. Sylveon only having 2 weaknesses. Sylveon is better for me than Clefable in League format. So in OU, Clefable is better than Sylveon. Most players are able to use Clefable better than Sylveon. But for me, Sylveon is a better offensive mon. Now, Clefable does get more moves. It gets Focus Blast for Heatran. It gets Flamethrower for Pharaohs. T-Bolt for the Talonflames, etc. With the Clefable. Sylveon doesn't have all that, but like because of the pixelate ability, Choice Spec Sylveon is significantly harder to switch into than like Life Forward Magic Guard Clefable. But like, don't run Life Forward Clefable in League format unless like you absolutely have to. But that's beside the point. We're going to be talking about Sylveon. Sylveon is a cat that, yeah, it's a pink cat. That's why I drafted it. It's a cleric, so like, let's say they burn, because like right now, like will spam is really annoying for this core. You can, peel bell it off, work around it, wish protects. So Agron does not have the any recovery bar rest. You're not really going to be wanting to run rest on Agron unless it's like some sort of curse set. And this thing can also sweep by itself too because it does get Calm Mind, which is very nice. So yeah, Sylveon's pretty cool. What also makes this core very fun is that you're going to be seeing Sylveon, Agron, especially defensive mon, physically defensive mon. So also keep that in mind as we go forward. Next, Donphan. Spoilers, you already saw it early. We got Donphan extremely early. For me, I don't like defog in League format because it means that I have to waste I have to waste a move, and I have to get rid of my opponent's potential stealth rocks. That's not, I'd rather go stealth rocks for stealth rocks or spin. That's just me. That's how my playstyle works. And I wanted a spinner. There's only a couple spinners that actually worked on this team, and Donphan is cool. It's a I'm not sure what Donphan is. Not a rhino. Donphan's a rhino. Fuck it. Yeah. So also get stealth rocks, but Agron gets stealth rocks too. So I mean, yeah, spoilers to get Agron as well. Stops Volt Switch. Another cool mechanic that you're gonna be seeing a lot on Donphan's is Rocky Helmet. Like the U tier, so it's like I have like let's say if they try to U-turn on me or whatever, like they have some sort of Volt Switch U-turn core, Donphan is the momentum stopper because if they try to U-turn, they get Rocky Helmet damage. If they try to Volt Switch, I'm a ground type. It can eat up the HP Waters, HP Ice, HP Grass. Yum, 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 yum. See how fat this thing is? Yum, 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 yum. Earthquake hits pretty hard. It gets, you know, Gunk Shot, Seed Bomb for the, his seed bombs for the Rotoms and this and that, but Rotom Wash. But the cool thing about the Donphan also is it spins on everything for the most part, because if they try to switch into a Ghost type, I'm going to knock you off, boy, and get that to a KO. Earthquake still does a massive amount of damage to most things. And yeah, Donphan's cool like that, and it also has sturdy. So it's like if they have, you know, setup mon, they're starting to set up. It gets a little crazy. I can go into my sturdy mon, live a hit, take you out with earthquake. And then natural gift is good for, like, let's say if they have a Ferrothorn, I could natural gift fire your boy or something like that. I don't know, pretty cool mechanic. Next, gonna be Mega Agron. Mega Agron, very, very fun. It allowed me to get 40 points. This thing is probably the best fairy check in League format. It's the best Gardevoir check in my eyes, kind of, sort of, to an extent, because of the filter ability. I'm pretty sure it can live 2 Focus Blasts, but like Gardevoir can just Will-O-Wisp this thing. I don't know, Mega Gardevoir's broken. Ban that thing. Get that thing out of my sight. I mean, even Burn, like Mega Agron still OHKOs any variant of the Mega Gardevoir, so that's something to keep in mind. Mega Agron gets up rocks, Steel type, switches into any physical attacker. It can switch into 2 Earthquakes from Mamoswine if it's not Adamant Life Orb. That is scary dairy. Dairy. It's not a cow. It gets Dragon Tail, it gets Roar, so if they try to set up on your boy Agron, it's not gonna happen. And you know, it also gets T-Wave. Like, this thing is, you literally can, nothing in the game can set up on Agron, because it's like if you're trying to Dragon Dance or this or that, I mean, it can T-Wave you, it can Roar you, etc., etc. And naturally, it's gonna hit very hard. Because of its base 140 attack, like, and because if it does get the elemental punches, it's not very fun to switch into Agron. There's only very few things that, like, the only things that really switch into Agron are like extremely bulky, naturally bulky mons, or, you know, ground types or this or that. I mean, it does, you know, carry Ice Punch, but I think Heavy Slam most of the time, unless it's like a really, really fat mon, like, Heavy Slam is going to be my best bet to hit most things, because Heavy Slams to a KO most things with very, very little, minimal attack investment. It's crazy. And the most underrated set that Mega Agron has that easily sweeps is the Curse set. The reason why I'm even mentioning this set is because most teams might have, you know, maybe 1 Steel Resist, 2 Steel Resists. Mega Agron can beat those because you curse, and then you rest, and then you become unkillable, and then I'll whittle you down. Yeah, especially like if you have leftovers. Like, my team's full of knockoff users, so I whittle you down, I PP stall a little bit, I just win. Mega Agron, curse set. You may be thinking, oh, well, he's just saying that because he's trying to hype up the Mega. No, curse is extremely good. Don't sleep on it. Karam, this thing has very, very few switches into it. Has the coverage to hit many things for neutral damage, and it's pretty cool. It's a wall and a, you know, wall breaker. It can go a Stally set, or it can go Choice Specs or Choice Scarf or Life Orb, Leftovers, Berries. You know, this thing is insane. And I've actually considered running Salicberry on Karam as well. I mean, we'll go on to that, you know, later, because you might see Salicberry, Karam, and, you know, it makes sense because I switch into rocks, I switch into rocks, I switch into rocks, and then now I get the Salicberry boost, which is cool. And the coverage on this thing is very good. It's a dragon type that can sub up, like, let's say your opponent has the Rotoms or this or that you know, Rotom's only a little bit annoying because you do have a Mega Agron and a Tornadus. Well, I got a Karam, bitch. And, yeah, Karam blows you back. Boy! Karam's cool. No pun intended. Another cool mon is the Sneasel. So, Sneasel, I picked it up a little bit early. Pick number 6 for tier 5. For a Sneasel? Huh? What are you doing, fam? Well, I'll tell you. Sneasel gets knockoff spam. So I've already expressed that Tornadus does get knockoff, but like this is a stab knockoff. It does have base 95 attack, which is like utter dong, like it's dog shit. Like, but Sneasel actually hits harder than most things with higher base whatever's, because like knockoff and Icicle Crash hit most things for neutral damage. Like it has very, very good offensive typing, so it's pretty irrelevant that only has base 95. And I mean, I can even run Adamant. I mean, actually no, I would never run Adamant on Sneasel, so never prepare for Adamant Sneasel. Wink, wink, wink. Speed tier base 115, which is very, very important because now I have 2 mons that outspeed base 110 mons. Base 100 mons are cool to outspeed, but I think it's important to outspeed base 110 mons because I'm not weak to the Lotties by any means. Come on now, I got a Mega Agron, I got the Sylveon, I got the Tornadus, now I got a Pursuit Trapper. I'm not worried about the Lottie twins, but I am worried of something like the Keldeos, the Trachyons. I have no Trachyon switch in. This, that. Well, unless they're scarfed, I'm gonna be able to outspeed your boys, and if Trachyon wants to, you know, switch in to Sneasel on the knockoff, like now I'm getting rid of your scarf, and then I can low kick you and this and that. It's cool mon, but most importantly, it's a Pursuit Trapper, and because you're required to draft a tier 5 mon, I just want to knock it out right off the bat because there's not really a lot of there's only one other tier 5 mon that we're not going to talk about those things, but Miltank ended up getting sniped. Bullshit fucking draft, you know what I'm saying? Miltank would have been fun to have in this format, in this league at least, but we're going to go past the sorry times and talk about Magneton. If you see my team, this thing gets walled by Mega. So I'm going to be talking about Megazor for a second, right? Sneasel gets walled by Megazor. Karam walled by Megazor. Bar HP Fires, but it forces me to run HP Fire. You know, that's not something that I want to do because I'm lowering my speed by 1 EV, which is potentially can lose me speed ties versus other base 95s or whatever. I don't ever want to run a hidden power on Karam. Mega Scizor, I mean, this doesn't do, like, Mega Scizor gets eaten up by Agron, but Mega Scizor can set up on Donphans. Mega Scizor easily can switch into Sylveon's hype, well, kind of sort of easily, but like it forces me to run HP Fire on Sylveon now. Plus 2 Bolt Punch knocks out Tornadus. So as you see, like, Mega Scizor is a very threatening thing to my team. So having a Magneton, sure, this doesn't switch into superpowers, but I mean I can switch into a Bullet Punch or a Bug Bite, but and it forces Mega Scizor to run a, well, either U-turn or superpower to deal with Magneton. But long story short, if I get chip damage on the Scizor, I can kill it with, I'm pretty sure Choice Specs Hidden Power Fire just kills it. I don't even care that my opponent is probably watching this, but like I'm probably like, if I face Mega Scizor and I have Magneton, I'm gonna be running Choice Specs because it's like, sure, a Mega Scizor can run a Jolly nature to outspeed Magneton. You won because like you need Scizor's bulk to switch into like all the other things, so you're forced to go bulkier, and then I just kill you with HP Fire. But if you think you're real and want to speed creep, max speed like Magneton, be my guest. But yeah, HP Fire does a ton, and I faced Mega Scizor twice. It's a divisional game. I counter team my opponents that I faced twice, and it's a good, legit draft strategy to keep in mind. Very good pick. Next is Emboar. Yeah, Emboar's cool. Emboar's a pig. I like to call Emboars a drive because they're one of the same. Both massive wall breakers. Not because they're both pigs, but yeah, Emboar is probably the best wall breaker in the lower tiers. I mean, Emboar, like, dude, like this thing is like it's like OU tier, as in trying to switch into me type things and stuff. The only thing that Emboar worries about is that it kills itself plus the low speed tier. So that, I mean, that's the only reason why it's tier 4 or even a lower tier. But like Emboars, the only switch in that I've ever seen like into an Emboar that doesn't get to it KO'd is like a defensive Lottie. And like as you've seen, I have a million Lottie switches into. So, and I could run I mean, this thing technically also can come close to. I think this thing does like 80% if it goes for choice banded adamant head smash to standard Lottie. But I would never, like, there's no need. I have like a million. This thing's good. If you think Mega Altaria checks this thing, heavy slam. Like, and another important thing about Emboar is that it has Will-O-Wisp and it stops Will-O-Wisp, which, as you see, this is the same concept. If somebody wants to try to T-Wave spam, if somebody wants to be that guy and try to T-Wave my Agron to get, bullshit pairs, be my guest, but you can't T-Wave freely because you can lose a turn because I got the Magneton. So it's the same thing with Emboar. If you try to Willow, I got a Willow switch in. I got a T-Wave switch in. I got Toxic switch ins. Statuses can be worked around. Emboar gets Sucker Punch, which is cool. And yeah, I mean, Emboar, it's a pig. Selby. Now Selby, I was able to get later in the draft. Selby slipped through a lot of people's fingers, and typing wise, Selby sucks typing wise. But coverage wise, it is almost Mew type good. Because this thing gets stealth, like this thing gets stealth rocks. Like what the heck? It gets Swords Dance Baton Pass, Nasty Plot Baton Pass. It can Nasty Plot through attacks. It can Thunder Wave. It can Sucker Punch. It can Healing Wish. I mean, you see these. It's naturally, like, technically, like, U-turn's annoying for this, but it's not real. Like, U-turn, a defensive Mon cannot 2 KO with U-turn on your boy, so I can easily recover off U-turn damage with this thing. Instant recovery, it's a base 100 Mon, good speed, good this, good that. And the niche about Selby that I really like about it is that I have a Healing Wish user, which is very important in my eyes. It's something that I like because if I have a Mega Agron, it's a win condition. I can play very, very scared. Yeah, here's another thing that I'm weak to Mega Scizor to keep in mind. I gotta watch out for Mega Scizor. But anyways, Healing Wish is cool because if, for example, I don't bring Magneton, my team gets whittled, and I have Healing Wish in the back, I can Healing Wish one of my Mons back to full, and now I got a check back with Scizor. So it's really good. Next, we got Feraligatr. Now, Feraligatr, I like a lot, and there's a little bit of, I forget whatever the term is, but it's like, when your dick's hard because like you look back in time because it's like, oh my god, the glory days. It's not because I'm some Gen 2 faggot. I'm a Gen 1er. But the first time I've ever made it to number 1 in a tier, it was like 2.5 years ago, and it was an NU, and yeah, it was with Feraligatr and Torrent Feraligatr and NU. Like, that thing was a monster. I'm very familiar with Feraligatr, long story short. The thing that it does for me is that I don't have a lot of, like, as I've already expressed, I have Curse Agron, I have Calm Mind, Sylveon, and what else? The Selby with setup, but like, I don't necessarily want them to be, like, they're more of like forced setup mods. Like, Feraligatr, it always has a setup option on it, and I like that because it's like, Well, I don't care that you're preparing for a Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, Agility, this or that for Alligator. Like, I don't care about any of that. I just like having an instant setup effective for Alligator, and this thing is also very. I mean, base normal 5 is not that good. Nah. It has the coverage, it has sheer force, mixed attacker. Because I mean, this thing can go. Like, let's say they have a physically defensive Mon that tries to wall the Feraligatr. I can just run special. Like, the special set's like decent. It's something to play around with, and yeah, Feraligatr's cool. And ta-da-da! It completes a little core between Selby, Emboar, and Feraligatr, Fairy, Water, whatever things and stuff. Yeah, cool. Vileplume is going to be our last pick. Tier 5 fits our bill. We only could get a Tier 5, and yeah. First thing, I wanted something to absorb the toxic spikes, which is cool. It's pretty good synergy actually with the Selby, because sure, oh, you got 2 grass types, and grass typing is kind of like a shit typing. But, like, it's cool because it's like they pretty much. I mean, this thing beats. This thing can beat bug types, and like it can switch. Like, if something carries bug coverage, for the Selbies, like, I don't want Selby to always be my switch into water types or this or that, because water plus signal beam or whatever, like, GG. Like, this thing is an assurance, so my opponent has to be forced to bring a little bit more coverage. Long story short, they'll have to bring, like, water types now have to bring water ice. But if, like, you bring water ice, now Feraligatr sets up on you, etc., etc., etc. It allows me to do a lot of cool things. It also gets and also, like, once again, I've had a lot of experience in the NU tiers, and I've used Vileplume like all the time, and it's cool. Like, its defenses is pretty solid because it does get instant recovery, so it can be offensive or defensive. It can be offensive because it does have the speedy, quick feet things and stuff in the sun. Chlorophyll. It doesn't outspeed Scarfers in the sun, but it outspeeds everything else that's not Scarf, so that's cute. And yeah, it's another cleric. So I got 3 clerics on my team, which is good because, like, if you want to status me, I have status absorbers. I got clerics, I got the works, and that's very important because I have bulky offense. Bulky offense is annoyed by status, and I got things for the status. So that's my team. This is going to be the team outlook. So my team, I got priority. I got typing cores between the Sylveon, the Karam, Mega Agron, Fairy Dragon Steel core. Got this core going on. With the hazards, I have 3 stealth rockers, which allows me, I don't always have to run stealth rocks on Donphan. I don't always have to run stealth rocks on Mega Agron. I have the option to run it on Selby as well. For example, if Donphan doesn't have a good typing against my opponent, or when Mega Agron doesn't do too well, I'm not forced to bring rocks. I can run stealth rocks and Selby. Now Donphan's my only way to get rid of hazards, which isn't like this can be exploited easily. That's a weakness of my team. If you want to try to exploit me, beat me, try to hazard sack me and work around the Donphan, but Donphan's cool. It's a powerhouse. I know how to play with a Don. Like, teams don't have necessary means of well-played Donphans around these parts. I got also momentum between Magneton, and Tornadus, so I got U-turn Volt Switch, so that's cool. So that's my team. It's looking pretty powerful. It's a bulky offensive team. Everything on my team has natural bulk. It's got powerhouses. Every single one of my Mons can be offensive. Every single one. So it's not a stall team, but I can stall you out because I got stall options between, Wish Protect Sylveon, defensive Agron, you know, Donphan's bulky. I got bulky options, and then, you know, just full on offense, like too much. So hopefully you guys are excited for my team. Let's see how we do this season. I'm gonna be posting all of my games sometime. Probably, I mean, I want to post them on Fridays, but we're gonna be posting them when they get posted. Most likely Friday. I'll try to make it all my games on Fridays. So if you guys are excited for this season, make sure to you know, let me know. And I'm signing out. Till next time. Peace.